Reminder that the final part of the show will be over on Network 2 at 10 to 11. But now at the time just gone 9 o'clock, we join John Finnerty in the newsroom.
In the French general election, a dramatic victory for the left over the Conservatives. The Taoiseach and the Fianna Fáil leader warn of the disastrous consequences of a hung Dáil. And in South Africa, the first official contact between Sinn Féin and fringe loyalists. A very good evening. France is to have a new government after the Socialists defeated the centre-right in today's conclusive round of the general election. Polls closed 2 hours ago, and the latest projections suggest the Socialists and their allies will have an absolute majority, with the centre-right set to lose half of its 460 parliamentary seats. The result is a major setback for the centre-right president Jacques Chirac, who called the election 10 months ahead of schedule.
At the headquarters of the Socialist Party in Paris, tears of joy from the family of Lionel Jospin as one of the greatest ever upsets in French politics is confirmed. 30 seconds after polls closed, it was clear the centre-right government had collapsed. It had lost half of its seats in the National Assembly. The Socialists are heading back to power and may not even need the support of the Communists for an absolute majority. Even those closest to the socialist leader, Lionel Jospin, are surprised.
He had the good idea to go very fast in the little hall, not the little big hall that the government opened with the dissolution, you know. And he was clever at that moment.
While the socialists gather to celebrate, the centre-right are in free fall.
Nous la respectons tous.
Prime Minister Alain Juppé has already appeared on television conceding defeat. An election called by Jacques Chirac to ensure he would have a centre-right government as partners for the next 5 years has backfired. In France, the red rose of socialism is back in vogue. President Chirac has 5 years of cohabitation ahead.
And I'm joined from Paris by our Europe correspondent, Tommy Gorman. Tommy, President Jacques Chirac took a big gamble by calling this surprise election, but the gamble has backfired badly on the Conservatives.
I suppose the truth is Chirac is safe. He's president for the next 5 years and he'll roll with the punches. But his party is decimated. They've lost over 200 seats. Ministers are falling like ninepins, and I'm sure they'll be very angry with him.
How dramatic is tonight's victory in comparison to, say, Tony Blair's recent win in Britain?
Well, what's fascinating is, whereas Tony Blair took his party to the centre to win victory, Lionel Jospin went to the left. He's promised things like a reduction in the working week to 35 hours with no cut in pay. He said he's going to expand the role of the public service. And this was the kind of music that the French electorate wanted to hear, because when the administration of Alain Juppé tried to bring in small changes, they resisted them.
Finally, what are the implications for Europe, and in particular, I suppose, for the single European currency?
Well, this has very dramatic implications for Europe, because one of the policies of Lionel Jospin is that he'd like to see the Italians and the Spanish joining the single currency from day one. He wants a much more flexible interpretation of the Maastricht criteria. I wouldn't be surprised if he moved very quickly to appoint someone like Jacques Delors as his foreign minister to try to reassure his European partners and indeed reassure the markets.
Thank you very much indeed, Tommy Gorman, reporting there from Paris. Back home in the general election campaign, both the Taoiseach and the Fianna Fáil leader Bertie Ahern have said that a hung Dáil would be disastrous for the country. Mr Bruton said it would be as bad as a Fianna Fáil PD government. Mr Ahern also said he didn't believe a Fianna Fáil Labour Party coalition would happen after the election. The Labour Party leader Dick Spring said the outcome was in the hands of the people, who